Justin Field, people are starting to flip flop here. The amount of stuff I've seen over the years, ever since Justin Fields was drafted, he's the guy. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Last year, people said he was top 10 quarterback. He can throw the ball. Anytime he made a deep pass and it was caught, they would do that uppercase, lowercase sentence. Justin Fields can't throw the ball. That's all I saw. But I also saw where he's only won what, 5 games? He's 5 and whatever in 27 starts, hasn't won a lot of games. I've seen where they blame the wide receivers. There are no wide receivers. I've seen where they blame the offensive line because apparently there's no offensive line. I've seen where they blame play calling. I've seen blaming the head coach. At the end of the year last year, they finally started to say, well, Justin Fields isn't this elite passer. They tried to jump on the Coach Steve Express train last year at the end. But then all offseason, all I saw was he's taking the next steps forward. He's going to come be this amazing leader. He's going to be an amazing passer. They have to have him be in the pocket. They have to do this. That's all I saw. But then right before the games, then reports start to come out. Well, they're not throwing the ball deep very much in practice. I wonder why that is. They have DJ Moore. Then in the preseason, they throw that screen pass DJ Moore. Well, look what happens when you give Justin Fields weapons. And I'm sitting here saying, hold on a second. I can throw that pass. I've done it in practice. That I was like, hold on a second now, because they were playing the game on paper. I have been on record saying this. Justin Fields is a freakish athlete. He is tough. He's an amazing runner. He can make great things happen because he's athletic. There are times he throws an amazing good ball. I am on record saying those things. I am also on record saying he's a guy that has to get developed and it will take years. That's why I said he's a guy that should be a backup for many, many years and just get some garbage time, practice, then eventually might get his time, and that's who he has to be. Or you keep him as a backup, and then certain red zone opportunities or whatever, that's where you could use his legs because once to twice a game, that's okay. Kind of like the Florida with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, if you watch the Swamp Kings, similar situation there. That's who I think Justin Fields is because I watched Big Ten football, watched what he was doing at Ohio State. I have all 2022 film from his last year at Ohio before the COVID year. I have all of that. I have the film on him. It's easy to look good when you have first round draft pick wide receivers. It's easy to look good when you have 2 running backs that average over 120 yards rushing per game, and you have top 3 round offensive lineman picks, and you're playing subpar teams. The teams that really played hard-nosed defense and took reads, like his first read away from him, or was actually covering the big play, like a Northwestern defense, an Indiana defense, those type, yeah, he struggled. Oh, but he beat Clemson and they did that. Yeah, you can have moments, and that's why when you're athletic like that, you can have those moments. But I try to sit here with Coach West and tell people he's not a multiple read quarterback. He is your Ohio State, no tempo, fast pace. Check with me. We're going to run the ball. You might do a zone read, or we're going to do an RPO because in college, linemen get 3 yards down the field instead of 1. You can do this RPO. Hey, why don't you just throw it up to this guy? Because that's because you can. And I try to tell people that, but I'm not trying to take away his athletic ability. Then the experts just continue to come out saying how he is an elite quarterback. He's going to take the next step. Adam Ranks of the world on NFL Network, the entire ESPN, the entire Fox talking about how great he's going to be. And coming into the year, I said, if he doesn't take these next steps, because he cannot continue to run and use his legs. Remember the Atlanta Falcons games last year, over halfway into the season, where he started to grab his, his hammies and stuff? Well, that's because the pocket breaks down. Sometimes, but again, experts don't understand this either. The experts. There's times he has a pocket, then he gets happy feet as soon as he sees a different color jersey. And the moment you start to move, it takes away from what the offensive linemen are doing. If the offensive linemen are sliding this way, protecting this gap, and they know they got to protect inside out. But then if he moves a certain way, it changes. Then it makes the defensive lineman move. It takes away from what the offensive line position is because of his footwork. Oh, but let's blame the coaches for not coaching it. Guarantee they are, but he's athletic. So they're going to he's going to do what he wants. He's going to do the muscle memory. He's going to do what he's going to fall back to what he knows because we know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. He makes these amazing 70-yard runs. And people say, well, that's because that he's an amazing quarterback. Just because you can break a run at break a 70-yard run touchdown, just because you do those things does not mean you're an amazing elite quarterback in the NFL. It means that you can break some tackles and can extend the play, and that's fantastic. But you cannot have sustained success doing that. Lamar Jackson is getting banged up. Russell Wilson necessarily didn't do those things. I am all for being an athletic quarterback to move the pocket, to be able to do those things, but it can't be designed runs. It can't be him as soon as he does that, stops looking downfield and takes off. That's not sustained success, and we see why. He's only won, what, 5 games? And then they find every excuse to blame him.